from Hartford Union High School. Welcome to the Thursday Night Throwdown on WSN. Tonight, a matchup in the North Shore Conference featuring the Homestead Highlanders and the Hartford Orioles. Greetings, everybody. Bob Brainerd, along with my partner, the Hall of Fame coach and a former head coach here at Hartford.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Brunner. It's homecoming for him. Welcome to the Thursday Night Throwdown. Terrific matchup here in the North Shore Conference, Dan. Ever since Hartford joined the North Shore Conference, this matchup against Homestead, it's been big and it's meant something in the standings.
Yeah, this is the game that typically determines who's going to end up on top.
We will see. A lot of football to be played, but an important contest nonetheless here in week number 5. I can count on one hand, Dan, the times that we have featured a kicker and a punter as our featured player. But we're doing it tonight because he's more than a kicker and a punter. He's really good at those. But Sean West of Homestead, special kid.
Sean West scored every point last week. I don't know if I've ever heard of that in any at any level anywhere. He's a three-headed monster. Most of his kickoffs result in touchbacks. He's kicked 5 field goals, one of them a 49-yarder, and he punts at a 41-yard average.
Oh, yeah.
And we watch him in warm-up. He just booms them. He'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, real fun to watch. Also fun to watch the backfield for Hartford. They've got big bodies up front, leading the charge for their talented fullback.
Man, Kason Bodwine started at guard last year. He had been a fullback prior to that. Now he's back as a fullback, kind of retooled his body. They call him the Hammer. I mean, he hits you like an offensive lineman with the speed and agility of a running back. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
A perfect night for football here in Hartford, Wisconsin. It's the Orioles and the Highlanders. Kickoff is next.
I love living in Kewanee, Wisconsin because the skies are blue. Smell of the fresh green grass. It's just a beautiful place to live. I love it. You love your animals, you love what you're doing, you love everything about farming, and you want to carry on those traditions. That's why we dairy farm.
A battle of 2-0 teams in the North Shore Conference. Both teams also 3-1 overall. Perfect night for football, and there's number 11. We told you about him in the open. Sean West, a booming leg, kicking off, kicking field goals, punting. He's also a receiver. Deep to receive for the O's. Reed Genders, number 10. 13 is Aiden Fry. One of these teams trying to get the W and get a leg up in the North Shore Conference. Underway in Hartford, and this one, as per usual, in and out of the end zone.
Touchback.
As
First down and
promised,
10,
Dan.
Orioles from the 20.
What a leg.
So we talked about Bodwine moments ago, but this offensive line is big and strong, and they move bodies for him, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, they do. And we got a shot of offensive coordinator Paul Shelsta. They run a really interesting offense. It's a mixture of the double wing, and then they'll also spread it out. So it's kind of a cool offensive game plan.
Bennett Klodges is the quarterback. Little draw play straight ahead. You'll see a lot of that on the give to Genders that time.
Tackle by Brendan Curtin.
Curtin on the tackle for the Highlanders. Gain of about 5, so second down and 5. They're run heavy, but they
from the 26.
try to move the formations around to keep defenses guessing.
Yeah, and they've settled in on a quarterback now. They had been rotating.
Klodges, this is his first official night as a starter, as Genders. Running room. Again, just off the left side, and he barrels forward for a first down.
Yeah, you can see that offensive line going to work here on the replay. And nothing fancy. And you see Bodwine out ahead doing a nice job. They just the other running backs block for each other. The receivers block for each other.
Yeah, when Bodwine isn't carrying the pigskin, he's the lead blocker as Genders, third carry for him. Maybe a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Genders, I love what head coach John Retter said about him. He's quiet and humble off the field, but on the field, fire in the belly den.
Different story on the field.
2nd down and 9.
And you already saw he's hard to tackle, good return man.
2nd and 9 for the Orioles. Klodge's shotgun. Looking to throw for the first time tonight. Receiver fell down. It was intended at the midfield stripe for Dane Miners.
Yep, Dane Miners slipped on that. If you recognize that name, his older brother Quinn is the starting offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos.
Former standout at Whitewater, right?
Absolutely, the Harvard of the Midwest.
Says you. 3rd down and 9 for the Orioles. Field's in great shape, so might just be that sun-setting dew.
A little confusion here.
Shuffling bodies around. Klodges to throw again. Steps up over the middle and almost intercepted. It was intercepted. The official was there, had to scoot out of the way, and plenty of room for Sam Nemke to make the pick.
Yes, Sam Nemke had been injured. A couple of those guys, we'll see on the replay here. Klodge scanning the field and threw it right to him.
Yeah, on his knees. You mentioned the secondary's been banged up for the Highlanders, but they got Nemke back, and it pays off here with the first turnover of the game. Highlanders in great shape, 1st and 10 from the 46 of Hartford. And Tommy O'Hagan is the quarterback. As the penalty marker flies before the snap, Jason Dahl is the referee. He and his crew work in this North Shore contest.
Encroachment, offense or defense, number 19, 5 yards, still 1st down.
That was Bodwine.
Yep, jumping the gun.
Yeah, a little antsy.
Tommy O'Hagan, good athlete, bouncing his steps, says his head coach, Drake Zortman, who's also the offensive coordinator. He runs the show with the O. O'Hagan's got a good command of this offense. It's a multiple gap offense. O'Hagan to throw. Downfield. Got a man. And making the catch.
Oh, man.
For a big first down, Daquan Malone.
To Daquan Malone.
Full extension downfield then, and Malone comes up with it for a huge pickup.
Well, you see right here, wasn't his first
First
choice.
down and 10, Homestead.
Nice ball, and look at that catch. Laid out completely and hauled it in. That's a big receiver, 6 foot, 190.
To the 19-yard line. Red zone, if you will, for the team in red and black. 1st and 10, Highlanders on the toss and on the cutback. That's Bentley Hickman, only a sophomore, Dan, but this kid has a big upside.
You know, and Bob, it's interesting because Dominic Bruno, their other running backs, only had 2 carries. He was their leading rusher a year ago and a first-team all-conference running back. You know, and I know Coach Zortman said they need to get him more touches.
Bruno's 27 in the backfield, 26 is Hickman. 2nd down and 6. Little draw and a bounce there. Hickman again. Boy, and you can see why they like this sophomore, Dan. He didn't get wrapped up and he didn't go to the ground on first contact.
No, he's a little bit bigger. You'll see right here, just like you said, Bob, he bounces off of first contact, low pad level, and he keeps his legs going, turns it into a nice gain.
Picked up the first down, 1st and goal, Homestead at the 7. Toss again.
Oh,
Hickman again.
Man.
He's in for the touchdown.
Homestead. 7 yards.
So after the turnover, the pass play, and then a whole bunch of Bentley Hickman. 6-0 Homestead.
Well, you can see why he's getting the majority of the carries. You see in the replay, those guys out in front did a heck of a job. Deed Capper, their left tackle, he's the only senior, and he showed his experience on that play.
An offensive line that's slowly coming into its own, gelling. Here's West for the PAT. And he's been all but automatic in this department.
See how far he kicks it.
Into your old house,
Sean
right?
West adds the extra point.
7-0 Homestead,
8:49
taking
to play,
advantage
first quarter in the
of the
score.
TO
Homestead
and then
7,
cashing it
Hartford
in
nothing.
on the ground as Bentley scores from 7 yards out.
Great job blocking. And, you know, Dominic Bruno's not, you saw in the replay, he's not getting a lot of carries, but, boy, he did a heck of a job double teaming with his linemen on that to clear the path for Hickman.
Yeah, Bruno, the ultimate team guy in that backfield, doing what is asked of him. And an impressive start here for the Highlanders. A year ago in the North Shore, Hartford won the conference.
Yeah.
But then in the playoffs, it was this Homestead team that knocked them out in the postseason.
Yeah,
It was a 10-7 level 2 game that the Highlanders won.
Yeah, I remember that game. That was a nail biter, and Homestead pulled it out at the end.
So West to tee it up one more time. Same two guys deep for the Orioles, Genders
Sean West
and
sets the
Fry.
kickoff for Homestead. Reed Genders and
See if they can get their
Fry back
hands
into
on
receive
it.
for the Orioles.
Doubtful the way we saw West kicking in pregame.
Yeah.
West is a Coles kicking camp kid, 4.5 stars. He bangs this
Reed
one on the
Genders
ground.
on the
Give his
return.
return guy something to do here. Genders. And they wrap him up just shy of the 30-yard line.
Tackled by Sean O'Byrne.
So the Orioles back to work here after the turnover. We're moving the football quite well, especially on the ground. We'll see what they choose here on their second opportunity.
First down and 10, Orioles from the 29.
From the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Bunched in tight. And the fullback, straight ahead carry. Still pushing the pile around.
Jason Bodwine, the ball carrier.
Bodwine. Yeah, the hammer.
Yeah.
The bowling ball build of number 19.
Tackled by Nathan Begonia.
You know, and those guys up front are really coming together. The
Second down
two
and
Rolls,
6.
my brothers, are center's a junior. The other right guard's a freshman.
Second down and 6.
Oh, no.
Damn it.
Ball on the ground for a
Yeah.
moment. And the Orioles lucky to come up with it.
Fumble on the
Once
play,
again,
recovered
Sean
by the Orioles.
picked up by Miners.
Yeah, we'll see on the replay here. Just hit him in the hip. Not a clean exchange.
Third down and 9.
Lucky
for the
that
30.
Miners fell on it.
Rolling. Klages complete to Genders.
Bennett Quaggas' pass is complete.
And the tackle made at about the 37-yard line. That's going to be a couple yards shy. Bring up 4th down and 2 in a decision for John Redders and company. Offense for the moment stays
Fourth down.
put.
Yeah.
And now they decide to boot it.
Yeah, you don't want to give the Highlanders good field position if you don't convert.
Connor Ford to boot the football. Nobody back deep. And the coaching staff for Homestead saying somebody get back there. And finally, Nemke does. They've been banged up on kick and punt returners as well. So Nemke, fair catch called for and made at the 35-yard line. So just a personnel mix-up, but no harm, no foul. Highlanders get the football back, leading 7-0.
And Connor Ford was in that quarterback competition up until a week ago. But again, another good team guy. Plays most of the time on defense and obviously is their punter.
Second opportunity for the offense for Homestead from the 35-yard line. That was Bentley Hickman's 6th rushing touchdown on that opening drive. O'Hagan under center. Little play action. And now flushed out of the pocket, Tommy O'Hagan on the move. Gets pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line, gain of 5.
O'Hagan, the ball carrier.
Good awareness there by 15, Dan. Didn't try to squeeze one in downfield.
Yeah, you see right here. I mean, step back, nothing open, saw an opening, and he got what he could, and he made a nice gain on first down.
That's that good command of the offense that Drake Zortman was talking about. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 from the 40. Hickman, Bruno in the backfield. Toss it to Hickman, the sophomore, zigzagging. And he gets tripped up. Someone got in there, and that's a good thing for Hartford because Hickman had some steam.
Yeah, he did. Lanzadro, defensive coordinator, well aware of kind of the
3rd down and 3
change in who's the key ball carrier now. Bentley Hickman, he had mentioned ahead of time that he's not your typical sophomore.
3rd and 3 for Homestead. Hickman the lone back. Fake it to him. Over the middle, little slant for a first down.
Pass is complete.
Jonah Wensler, a junior.
Big target.
Yeah.
You see here, you got a 6'5" wide receiver running a slant. Gives you a little bit of a margin for error, but he went down and got that for a 6'5" receiver.
Yeah, 6'5", 205. So some muscle on that 6'5" frame. They pick up the first down, 48-yard line for Homestead. On the give. That was Hickman once again. Compact and strong. Had over 200 yards rushing, Dan, against Germantown in week 1, did Hickman. He's a difference maker at a young age. You don't hear that a whole lot, but they like what they see in this kid.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
2nd down and 5.
Hickman got 5 on that carry. 2nd and 5 in Hartford territory at the 47. Throw high, but you can throw it high when Wensler's the target, Dan.
Man, it just, what an advantage when you got a 6'5" target. You put it up, and you can see right here on the replay, I mean, nobody's getting up there to get that ball other than him.
3rd down and 1 from the Orioles.
Aiden Fry, who goes 6 feet.
Yeah.
He just had to wait for him to come down and make the tackle. Nothing you can do to climb that ladder.
Nope.
So 3rd down and 1 for Homestead at the 43. Again, Hickman and Bruno, left to right in your backfield for Homestead. And Hickman gets the carry. Navigates first down and change to the 37. Drake Zortman, 4th season as the head coach at Homestead. He spent 4 seasons earlier in his career at Messmer Shorewood, turned that football program around, made them relevant.
First down
and then Drake came to Homestead, an assistant under Hall of Fame coach Dave Keel, took over when Dave decided to move to Florida. Or Georgia? Georgia, I'm sorry. Somewhere down there, warmer than Wisconsin.
Yes.
1st and 10, Highlanders at the 38. O'Hagan, he's going down. At midfield, brought down. Miners was there.
on the stop for the Orioles.
Great pursuit by number 11. Didn't let go. And that was all him.
Yeah, you know, you'll see him come from his outside linebacker spot, just unblocked. And you're talking about a 6'4", 185-pound athlete. Tough to get around him.
John Rutter says our best defensive player. You can see why.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going solo,
Second down and 18
and
for the
you
46.
wave everybody else off. I got this, fellas. Big loss. 2nd and 18 now, back at the 47. O'Hagan. Little drop step, little dump off Bruno.
O'Hagan's pass is complete.
They go to him out of the backfield.
Dominic Bruno on the reception.
And again, when Drake Zortman says we need to get him more touches, plays like that gets him more touches.
Yeah, and you know he's a good pass receiver as well as a runner, and we see they dump a little drop screen off here, but Hartford held them to a minimal
for the
gain.
41.
Yeah, gain of 5, but still 3rd and 13 for the Highlanders. O'Hagan, 2 receivers up top. Looking that way, throwing that way. Complete for the first down. Wensler again.
Pass is complete. Jonah Wensler on the reception.
And a big pickup when they needed it most, Dan.
Man, Wensler is making
Wensler
his presence
to
felt.
the 20-yard line. First down and 10, Homestead.
Good protection up front. Ball's delivered right in the hole where Wensler is. Not much you can do.
So Homestead back in business. Fresh set of downs at the 20-yard line. First man throw, quick draw. And scampering,
Bentley
almost
Hickman.
another first down is Bentley Hickman. Boy, you saw the
Tackled by
burst
Trevor
there,
Rivera.
Dan.
Oh,
He's caught up in traffic, but he just kept moving.
no, and again, it all starts up front. They're pulling a backside guard.
Second and 2 from the 12.
But that cutback ability is not something that you can really teach. That's just innate.
Give Hickman 8, 2nd and 2 at the 12. Hickman again. Marker comes in. Bentley goes into the end zone, but
Bentley Hickman,
it's
the
not
ball
gonna
carrier.
stick.
There's a penalty marker
Yeah.
on the play.
I think we got a hold out there.
all the fans below us here in Hartford, they were calling it as well.
You know, Bob, Drake Zortman talked about his young offensive line.
Holding. Offense. Number 27. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
And that was not on one of the linemen. That was on Dominic Bruno, the other back. But he said they're taking a little bit longer to come together, but he's been seeing progress. And I think you can see that tonight already, just the way they all moved in unison on that play.
Yeah, he said they're starting to settle in on this lineup of the 5 guys up front.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get settled, then they can get settled and they can gel.
Yeah, only one senior. Deed Capper is really the only senior in that unit. You got 3 sophomores and a junior.
Going to grow up together in the trenches. So the penalty pushes the Highlanders back to the 22-yard line, 2nd and 12 now. Keep it on the ground. Go to Hickman again, up and over the 20 to about
Hickman,
the
the ball
18.
carrier.
Looking like about a 3rd and 7 or 8.
Hickman to the 19-yard line.
About a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Correction, 18-yard line. 3rd down and 8.
3rd and 8, Homestead. Malone in the slot. Wensler at the bottom. O'Hagan under center. Toss it. Going to keep it on the ground. Hickman again. And this time, good job by Hartford to string him out.
Tackled by Dom
Minimal
Savaldi.
gain to the 15. It brings up 4th down. Remember, Homestead has their kicker
Yep.
well within his range here.
Yeah, that last tackle was by Dominic Cifaldi. Did a nice job. Very physical, very fast. State hurdles qualifier last year.
West is out. They'll let the period run out here and then kick from the other goal
That's
post.
the end of the first quarter with the
So
score.
after the
Homestead
first 12
7,
minutes of action,
Hartford
this
nothing.
North Shore War reads Homestead 7 and Hartford nothing. You're watching the Thursday Night Throwdown on WSN.
That they have to offer. Also, you can buy 50-50 raffle tickets at the Booster Club table.
Farming is more than just a job because it demands
For
so
your chance
much
to
of
win
it.
half of the money. Collect it before halftime.
Every day I'm with the people that I care about the most. We accomplish or we fail together.
Support Wisconsin dairy farmers. Buy Wisconsin cheese and dairy.
On the sidelines, and a lot of times with these programs that are trying to build something, they worry only about football, only being ready and training, but both these schools throw that out the window. Jonah Wensler, you've seen a lot tonight. He spent 10 days this summer on a mission trip to Jamaica, building homes for underserved areas, helping kids learn a little bit about sports along the way, but helping to build a community in Jamaica was a part of a mission trip with his church. There's a lot of those stories, but that 6'5" guy's more than a good basketball player, more than a good football player. He appears to be just a kid who wants to help. Guys.
Cool stuff, John. Thank you. Yeah, he's been a factor here in the first period. Second period's going to start with this West 35-yard field goal attempt. And it's up, and it's good by a bunch.
Man.
Into the elementary school, Dan.
Oh, man.
You can see why college coaches have been calling Drake Zortman on the weekends. He said he spoke with the head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys last weekend. West now has 6 made field goals, and we're in week 5 of the football
week
season.
5, yeah. Wow, that's an outstanding season when you get 6 field goals. You know, one of them was a 49-yarder against Arrowhead.
He's a difference maker. He's a game changer. He can single-handedly affect and win you football games. Dan mentioned in the open, last week they beat Nicolay 16-13.
Yeah.
All 16 points were scored
Yeah.
by Sean West. Caught a touchdown, kicked the extra point, kicked 3 field goals.
Yeah.
West 16.
I watched him in the warm-ups. I saw him snag a pass with one hand. It was kind of one of those old Odell Beckham Jr. catches. It's like, whoa, he's not just a kicker.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him catch a pass yet in this offense. But he's a target, and he's a threat. And a threat to bang this one out of the end zone once again. Little arty shot there for you. As Genders and Fry are deep.
Sean West to kick off for Homestead. Aiden Fry and Reed Genders back deep to receive for the Orioles.
Last time West kind of did a line drive just to give his kick return guys something to do and make a tackle. This one going to be short, fielded at the 9-yard line.
Aiden Fry on the
It's
return.
Fry. And nice tackle at 25
Tackle
to
by
bring
Dominic
Fry down.
Bruno.
That was Bruno on the tackle.
Yeah, doing a good, your all-conference running back, and he's doing a job on special teams.
So the Orioles, first series
First down and 10, Orioles
on
number 26.
the second quarter, trailing now by a 10-0 count. Klodge the quarterback in the shotgun. Going to move some bodies around here pre-snap. And then give it. Straight ahead, the fullback, Bodwine.
Bodwine, the ball carrier.
Yeah, Brendan Curtin made that tackle. He was injured in practice in week 1. He's just back now from that injury.
Second down and 8 from the 28.
Second and 8 from the 28. Klodges wants to throw, pulls it in, crossing pattern, catch complete, catch and go down the sidelines. Nicely done by Miners. Watch Klodges, he just waits, Dan. Waits.
Yep. Very patient. You know, and Hartford's got their big target. Now he's a 6'4", 185-pound wide receiver.
They move Miners around in the formations. Backside tight end, double tight formation. Go back to the ground, Bodwine. Not much there. In fact, backwards he goes.
Yeah, Monty Love. I got a funny story about Monty Love's dad when we get a couple minutes.
Couple minutes? You need a couple minutes?
I need about a half hour to tell this
Oh,
story.
can't wait. Second and 12. Little counter play there to Genders, and Homestead not buying it.
Whoa, somebody took this. Yep.
Yeah.
You got a swing out there.
You saw it, the bodies, while they were unpiling, somebody.
Teron McCall.
Some extracurricular noogies.
Yeah, that's an ejection. He took a swing.
Jason Dahl and his crew are going to huddle up and discuss.
It'll be interesting what they decide here.
It was after the play and after the whistle when it happened.
Bare minimum, it's going to be unsportsmanlike.
Here's Jason Dahl.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 52 of Homestead. That 15-yard penalty will result in a first down.
Teron McCall.
Yeah, we'll see it here, 52. Oh, kind of like he didn't like the guy blocking to the whistle.
Yeah, Weston Yeager kept pushing. But you saw what McCall did with the swing. He actually hit the shoulder pads of Yeager. Probably better, because if you hit the helmet, then you can do some damage on your fist.
Yeah.
So the Orioles get the march off into Homestead territory at the 47. First and 10 Orioles. Bunched in tight. Genders gets the carry. And Genders slipping a couple tackles before he's covered up by Curtin at the 45.
Yeah, Homestead's had a couple of linebackers hurt, and they're fortunate. They feel fortunate they've got some of them back into playing condition, Curtin being one of them.
Yeah, linebacking, secondary, Drake Zortman's had to mix and match. But some guys starting to get healthy once again. It's good news for Homestead. On the move. Bodwine, first down. Out of bounds.
Ball went on the turf.
I know.
Fortunate.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Dan gets all excited with turnovers. But yes, a first down for Hartford.
Yeah, you see Bodwine get out in the flat. Klodges does a nice job, gets him the ball. Fortunately, he's near the sideline, so the ball that gets knocked out ends up going OB.
Yeah, Jack Reed got the paw on the backside there to poke it out. But first down, mission accomplished at the 32-yard line. Go back to the ground. Bodwine. There's the hammer. Yep. Tough dude to bring down at 5'9", but 220.
Yeah. We see guys up front doing a nice job.
Second down and 6.
Ethan Bertelson.
To the air. To the end zone. Incomplete. Just out of the reach of Jacob Bauer.
Boy, it looked like Bauer he put it right on him, but like you said, Bob, just out of his reach. Another track athlete, state relay runner.
And he got a little separation there. But 3rd down and 6 at the 28 for the Orioles. They trail by 10 here in the second quarter. Klages, the kneel down on the snap. Do you know why?
I have no idea what that was.
Lost yardage. And so now 4th down and 11 back at the 33.
That was
strange.
Very odd.
And not going to punt the football either. It's not like they were trying to get some room
No.
here. They're showing they're going to go for it. But well, opportunity for redemption for Bennett Klages and Hartford. But they need 11 from the 38. Flushed. Wants to throw. Instead, he goes down finally at the 29-yard line, well shy of the 1st down. So Homestead takes over.
Turnover on downs. 1st down.
Interesting sequence there.
27.
Yeah, that was. I mean, great effort here by Klages, but just breaking those tackles. But he had too far to go.
Yeah, Lucas Gernert, 56. Had him hog-tied and was ready for the throwdown, and Bennett slipped him, but they bend but don't break and get the football back. Does Homestead, leading 10-zip from the 27-yard line. O'Hagan in the shotgun. Give it to Hickman. Little delayed draw. Hickman bouncing to the outside. Seen that a couple times already, Dan, where he meets the bodies up front and then refuses to go down immediately.
Boy, he is a really good running back. I mean, he's only a sophomore, but like you said right here, Bob, I mean, he gets booped, he slips he always seems to make the first guy miss. You know, that's what all the good running backs do.
Got 7. 2nd and 3. Hickman again. Bentley, a hole. Midfield, 40. Dragged down finally at the 30-yard line. Homestead riding the Bentley now.
Parker Smith made a touchdown-saving tackle. Guys up front are doing a nice job for him. Luka Ivancevic.
Very good, Dan.
71. That was a key block he made.
Yeah, he's one of the sophomores up front.
Yeah.
The gelling is starting to gel with this offensive line. Bentley takes advantage with a big pickup down to the 30. Trips up top for O'Hagan. Draw play to Bentley. Not this time. Kenneth Kaiser in on the tackle. No gain on the play, thanks to Kaiser.
No gain on the play.
Yeah, you see in the replay, nice job. Guys up front held their own. He jumped the gap and dropped them for no gain.
Come on, team! Stop! Watch speed, be ready. The opponent's here. Make you communicate.
2nd and 10 for the Highlanders. Just over 6 minutes to go here before halftime. O'Hagan under center. Drops back, throws, and incomplete. Had a couple receivers over there, not sure, but Malone probably the intended receiver, off his fingertips.
Yeah, Wensler was out there,
Third
but
down.
he definitely was not the intended receiver.
So a 3rd down and 10.
We got our kicker in the game as a receiver.
Yep. And if they don't convert, he might stay in the game
Yeah.
and try a long field goal. From here, if they don't pick up anything, it's a 47-yard try. But they'll try to pick up 10 on 3rd down and 10. O'Hagan, time in the pocket. Catch is made, but tackle is made short of the 1st down. This time connecting with Malone.
I think we'll see a field goal attempt here.
Why wouldn't you when you have a weapon?
Yeah.
4th down.
Like West. And there's number 11 staying out there to tee it up, looking for his 2nd field goal of the evening. This will be a 42-yard field goal attempt. Dan mentioned earlier against Arrowhead, he was good from 49. This one short. I don't know if anybody got a hand on it.
No, I don't
Or he
think
just
so.
got, I think he just got underneath it a little too much.
Yeah. You can see here. Good snap. Yeah, I don't think anybody touched it.
No touch. Charlie Bloom is the holder. Snap was good, hold was good. West just came up short. So a break for Hartford.
Yeah.
5:10 to go before halftime. They stay just -10 on the scoreboard.
Every once in a while, Tiger Woods would mishit a shot.
Occasionally. Oh, look at this.
Here we
Little
go.
razzle dazzle in the backfield. Miners. Good pickup. Not exactly razzle dazzle when it's Hartford, Dan. That's part of their playbook, isn't it?
It is. It is. Miners does a nice job. Guys up front did a nice job. Uses a stiff arm.
I think that's a pass completion for Bennett, isn't it? Technically, pass, little shovel toss. Come on, give it to him.
If it was behind him, it would be. In front of him, I mean.
It was in front of him.
Yeah.
I'm giving him-
you're right. If it was in front of him, it is.
8-yard pass play
Yes.
for Clodges. John Pearson down on the field.
Well, there are always a lot of stories and a lot of numbers, but one of the reasons that the numbers are always adding up in here in Hartford, Ron Balke, they think he's been on the sidelines doing the play-by-play stats for 27 years. He wasn't sure. He's missed one game thanks to a football game his son played at Oshkosh several years ago. And breaking news for you guys, he's going to miss a game this year for his granddaughter's wedding.
Uh-oh.
I mean, guys, if that's your priority, what kind of guy are you?
Wow. Thank you, John. Genders looked like he was going to be stacked up after the catch. He said, no, I'm going downfield, picking up the 1st down.
Yeah, great job by Reed. Genders. See right here, Clodges dumping it off to him in the flat. Breaks the 1st tackle. Turns up field and he gave a little bit of the hammer himself.
Yeah. Good call. 1st and 10 from the 40. Clodges. Sideline toss. Tried to come back and get it. That was R.J. Tomei.
Yeah, Sean O'Byrne, good position. Would have been a heck of a catch. Yeah, Ron Balke.
Was he on your sideline?
Oh my goodness, he was on the sideline before I got here.
Oh my gosh!
And you don't find a better guy. I mean, they broke the mold when they made Ron Balke. He's the greatest.
2nd and 10, Hartford. Trying to cobble a drive together. Try this play again. Different receiver, but same result. Miners the intended receiver that time.
Yeah, Miners almost looked like he didn't expect the ball to get to him because Clodges delivered it with a little bit of air under it.
And Sean O'Byrne, number 4, that's the cornerback at Homestead. They missed him in the Nicolay game with an injury, but they got him back tonight. And he was on the coverage. There's Sean, 3rd and 10 from the 38 of Hartford. Klodges, one more time, looking middle, dancing out of trouble. And then Burns brings him down. O'Byrne, I beg your pardon. Sean getting in there from his cornerback spot. Making the tackle, no gain, 4th and 10.
He's got pretty good protection here. It just nobody came free. You know, you can only block for so long, and then the Highlanders converged on him.
Time to punt for Hartford. Couple guys deep. West is one of them. He boots footballs. He also fields them. This one instead will be fielded by Wensler on the fair catch. So 2 minutes and change to go before halftime. Homestead buckling down when they need to as Drake Zortman gets in the ear of his quarterback, Tommy O'Hagan. Up 10 love.
Speaking of love, remind me to give you that love story later on.
Oh, I'll remind you. First and 10. Highlanders at the 28. Fake the draw. And now O'Hagan is going to run to the sticks. Not much there. Coming up at halftime, we'll have the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin halftime report. John Pearson talked with Travis Wilson from WSN. They discussed Thursday Night Throwdown as well. All things high school football. That's coming up at halftime. The Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin halftime report. You gridiron geeks want to stick around for that. A lot of good stuff to discuss as week 5 is underway. O'Hagan, downfield, got West.
My goodness.
West gonna take it to the house with the speed. Touchdown, Homestead.
Touchdown, Homestead. 71-yard touchdown pass from Tommy O'Hagan.
71 yards on the hookup to West.
Not just a kicker.
Hardly, Dan, his 2nd touchdown catch of the season.
O'Hagan delivers a perfectly thrown ball. And West catches it perfectly in his hands, and then you're not going to catch him.
Now you tack on the extra point.
Sean West.
Why not?
The extra point.
He scored 10 of the 17 for Homestead tonight, Dan.
You know, when they say this guy's a phenomenal, he is a phenomenal athlete. Rarely do you see a kicker who excels at a position like he does. Look at the ball, perfectly thrown, catches in his hands, has a great feel for the game.
Yeah, give O'Hagan credit too. He dropped a dime on number 11.
Aiden Fry's a good DB.
71 yards, West on the touchdown. John Pearson back on the field.
We don't just find stories with the players. We've got the defense coordinator, Matt Wolf of Homestead. He's also the president of the Sunrise Rotary Club in Mequon. And one of the big things they do is they take the players around to the community parks and plant trees right there. And they take a lot of pride in all of that, of just whose trees are the tallest by the end of the year. But it's never ending, the community service that they try and have in both communities. But in Homestead, when I called over there, they were just rattling off story after story. But yeah, the assistant coaches aren't just buried in film, if they still use film. They are buried in the dirt, getting the trees going.
Yeah, literally, John. Thank you. Yeah, Matt Wolf, the defensive coordinator, he and Drake Zortman go way back.
Yeah.
They've been arm in arm coaching football.
Yeah, longtime assistant to as you mentioned earlier, Hall of Fame coach Dave Keel.
No rest for the weary. Sean West. No rest.
No
rest. No rest for West. He's got to handle the kickoff chores as well. The kid, he just enjoys it. Enjoys all aspects of football. And I think we're going to have a timeout before the kickoff. Not sure which team called the timeout, but both teams are going to huddle up and talk about it. Hey, athletes aren't born. They're built through hard work, dedication, and chocolate milk. It's the drink that elite athletes turn to for recovery. Need a competitive edge? Then drink chocolate milk. Brought to you by the dairy farmers of Wisconsin.
And more. Thank you for your support of HHS Athletics.
Drake Zortman, math teacher at Homestead. Looks like a math teacher, doesn't
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But an excellent football mind as well. Math teachers can crunch numbers, right? I mean, they're good at that.
You know Dave Keel was a math teacher, too.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
I think it's a prerequisite over at Homestead.
It helps, right?
Yeah.
You saw Drake go over and talk to somebody in the, I think one of the reps of the student section over there. So maybe that was part of the delay. The theme is, if you didn't know, and both schools are abiding by the theme, it's flannel shirt cowboy hat night. Hartford students have that garb on as well. So West tees it up once again. He's got one touchback tonight. The other two have been returnable. This one is not returnable. Into the end zone.
Touchback. First down and 10, Orioles from the 20.
So Hartford has just under 2 minutes left, all 3 timeouts remaining. Try to get on the scoreboard here before halftime. Homestead gets the football down in the second half, so kind of imperative to try to get some points before you get into the locker room.
Yeah, this is a must drive. They need to get some points on the board.
And that's where West and his booming leg come in handy. You start him off the 20-yard line. No opportunity for a big return. But back to work. Klodges and the Orioles. Quick sideline toss. And then skidding and going down quickly was Miners. Gain of about 3, maybe 4, second down. Clock running.
Second and 7.
Second and 7 Orioles. Put it on the ground for a little delayed draw, and Bodwine doesn't get a whole lot. And the clock continues to roll. 3rd and 5 for Hartford. Takes a while to unpile. Tick, 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 tick. Love on the tackle. You're going to give me that story, man, before the night's up. Yeah, okay.
3rd and 5 from the 25.
3rd and 5, Hartford. Klodges throws in traffic, incomplete. Regenders the intended receiver. It was in the fingertips, but it trickles through and forces a punt.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Hartford now, you're giving Homestead the ball back with 3 timeouts.
And a kicker.
Yeah, yeah.
The likes of West, who's back to receive. I mean, what doesn't this kid do?
I don't know. They're going to get good field position, probably.
Yeah, West is back with Wensler at the 44. This one high into the Hartford sky. Everyone backs off and down at the 49-yard line. So now you're Homestead. You've got all 3 timeouts remaining. Check that. They burned one on that last exchange before the kickoff. So 2 timeouts remaining, but you're at the 49. couple of chunk plays here, and you give West an opportunity before the halftime gun, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've shown that they can throw the ball effectively.
O'Hagan. And don't be surprised if he gives it to Hickman, too, to try to pick up big real estate. Looking to throw here. And instead, a sack.
Yeah.
Tackle for a loss.
Luke Lopez got him down around the ankles.
Stop for the Orioles.
Yeah, you can see right here, they were trying to do a double move on the left side, little pump fake, and the guy's going deep, but the Oriole pass rush was too much.
Looked like Homestead would just let the half run out, but instead they're going to burn their second timeout here. And they're going to reset the game clock 24 seconds, faced with a second down and 17. It's week 5 of the prep football season in the state of Wisconsin. And I always like to point out, Dan, that when we reach halftime, we're halfway through the regular season.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, right?
Yeah, it's very hard to believe.
So, Zortman with his offensive coordinator camp on. Looking for something to, again, just a big chunk play to try to give West one final shot before halftime. Homestead, we mentioned last week, they beat Nicolay, and Knights have really improved the last couple of years. 16-13, Homestead was a winner. They'll be taking on West Bend East next week.
A much improved West Bend East
Oh,
team.
yeah. No gimme, no rollover in that North Shore Conference matchup. Second and 17 out of the timeout. O'Hagan under center this time. And they'll just keep it on the ground. But they get Bruno some big yardage. Stop the clock for a moment at the 40.
Boy, he picked up the first down.
And now they wind the clock. One timeout remaining. Got to spike it here, I would think. Yep, they do. O'Hagan gets under center. So you've got, let's see, on the scoreboard here, you've got 10 seconds remaining. I mean, West wouldn't try this. This would be 57 yards.
No, but I think they'll try to just get a little chunk of it with a quick out. You know, they can actually throw it anywhere they want.
Yeah,
but
one timeout left.
Got to go down and call the timeout like right now.
Yeah. So looking for that big chunk and get it in a hurry. Little play action. There's the big chunk, and they got it.
Oh, and they got 4 seconds left.
And they got the timeout.
Jonah Wensler on the reception.
And the officials stopped it for the first down, and then Drake Zortman said timeout. Boy, that was perfect execution.
Yeah.
Got it done quickly, Dan. You
Yeah.
give West a shot here.
Look at the blocking up front. Nice job. And again, Wensler has really turned into that go-to guy.
So Homestead out of timeouts, but a chance to make this 20-0 at the half, as Sean West will get another crack at a field goal try. He's got a touchdown, an extra point, and a made field goal. Looking to go 2 for 3.
Yeah, this will be a 42-yarder.
Well within his range.
Approximately, yeah, 40 yarder.
Yep. Set that tee down right at the 30. John Redders has all 3 timeouts remaining. I wonder if he'll
try to ice him.
Yeah, maybe. West. And there you go. Timeout, Hartford. Can't take them with you. Last time I checked.
Exactly.
Hartford. Their first.
John Pearson before the kick.
Bentley Hickman's been a big part of this, and you guys have talked a little bit about Dominic Bruno, but it says a lot about him, not only that he was ready, but that he wasn't trying to do too much when he got his chance. That nice run he had right there, he could have been trying to go for the goal and go for the goal line and maybe made a mistake, but he just was ready, made his play, and around here, we do talk about Bruno, if my Disney references are accurate.
I see what you did there, John. See what you did there. More from John Pearson and Travis Wilson at the half. After this kick, barring a penalty, it will be halftime. So Sean West, a 40-yard attempt to make it 20-0. And he got it.
Sean West, 40-yard field goal attempt.
Plenty to spare.
Sean West from 40, 2 for 3 in field goals tonight. Oh, yeah, and he's got a touchdown as well. Look at this, a thing of beauty, Dan.
Yeah, good snap, good hold, and cleared that bar by plenty.
He kicked it into the mine shaft downtown.
2-for-1 pizzas tonight.
Oh, don't remind me. No, thanks for reminding me. All right, it's halftime here at Hartford Union High School. Our score, the visitors from Mequon, the Homestead Highlanders, lead the Hartford Union Orioles 20-0 at the half. You're watching the Thursday Night Throwdown on WSN.
At the Booster Club table. Here is your winning number.
I think when anybody comes onto our farm, they see how family-oriented we are. Having the 3 generations all at one dinner table, it's just a really fun time to spend as a family. I would love to see them someday taking over the farm as well. You know, that's a farmer's ultimate dream, to see it pass on to the hands of the next generation.
Support Wisconsin dairy farmers. Buy Wisconsin cheese and dairy.
All right, let's go, baby. Mind over matter. You don't mind, it don't matter. Nobody ever drowned in sweat. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, I'm pleasantly impressed by that.
See what Peyton Powers does here on a 2nd and long. Wide open,
man.
And that's a touchdown. Columbus, Jefferson Mowbray. 13-yard score. 6-0 Columbus.
Well, we're halfway through this game, and we're thinking halfway through the season. It's amazing as a concept right here when it's this early in the year. But Travis Wilson is there from the beginning, the middle, and the end of the high school football season, and he's the general manager of WSN and always has the storylines. Is everybody right now thinking, how do we best position ourselves for the playoffs, or do they try and put that out of their minds at this point, Travis?
Well, certainly we are in a position we can start thinking about the P word, the playoffs. There are teams that will become playoff eligible this week. You know, we're just a week away from teams clinching playoff spots in many cases if you start 4-0 in league play. So we are in a position to start thinking about that. There are teams that are thinking about that maybe have fallen out of the conference title race. They've got 2 losses early on, and they're thinking, all right, now I just got to get enough wins to get into the postseason. Because like you said, we are exactly halfway through the regular season in terms of games right now. And if you include the preseason practices and the scrimmage and that stuff, we're past the midway point of the regular season. So it's going to be here before we know it, and it is certainly time to start thinking about playoffs. We will have playoff previews, playoff projections, all kinds of playoff information coming out very soon on WisSports.net.
Well, Travis, we talked that it's midway through the season. A lot of teams trying to position themselves properly. Give us a couple of the matchups that are going to mean so much.
Well, it doesn't get much bigger than a showdown in the Classic 8, which seems like we get a huge game every week. Mukwonago and Muskego. Mukwonago moves to the top of the Division I coaches poll this week. Muskego is third. A huge matchup. These teams have met a number of times, including in the playoffs in the last few seasons. Always a great game. We've had it as our Quick Trip and Wisconsin Dairy game of the week in the past. That is a monumental showdown between two of the best programs in the entire state of Wisconsin. But it's not the only one. There's a couple other games in the Milwaukee area of note in the Greater Metro Conference. Brookfield Central is at Sussex Hamilton. Both those teams are undefeated. Speaking of undefeated, there are 4 teams in the Greater Metro that are unbeaten in conference play. A couple of them have 1 loss overall. But then a really sharp delineation in the Greater Metro where there's 4 teams that are 0-4 overall. We mentioned Brookfield Central and Sussex Hamilton. Also this week in a huge Greater Metro showdown is Menominee Falls and Marquette. Both those teams are 2-0 in conference play, 3-1 overall. So we're going to get some clarity in the Greater Metro Conference this week. Elsewhere around the state, you've got Lord's Academy at Partyville in a big-time Trailways Conference game. Edgar and Colby, an important one in the Merriwood Conference. That league is off to a hot start. They went 12-0 in crossover games against the CWC Small. Last year, I believe every one of the 6 teams in the Merriwood made the playoffs. We could see a similar situation this year. And then in the Flyway Conference, a big one, a couple unbeaten teams. There's 3 unbeaten teams in the Flyway. 2 of them meet up this week as Winnebago Lutheran is at Campbellsport. By the way, that 3rd team unbeaten in the Flyway, St. Mary's Springs. So those are some of the games that we're looking forward to this week. Make sure you check those ones out. All of them are Game of the Week nominees. Quick Trip and Wisconsin Dairy Game of the Week nominees. And looking for a good week. Week 5 of the high school football season. Conference play, big-time matchups. What a way to get it going.
Obviously, nobody, when a Catholic Memorial, a powerhouse program, has a couple early losses, nobody thinks to give up on them. But are there some programs that you're thinking, wow, do not forget how good this program is as the year goes on, as they maybe got out to a slower start, but you know those coaches, those players are going to put something together?
Well, I think about a team like Sun Prairie East, who lost back-to-back games to Mukwonago and Waunakee. They were sitting 1-2, and then they had Beaver Dam last week, who was unbeaten at the time, 6th ranked in the state. Sun Prairie got back on a winning streak and got a win in that one. So that's a team that has a couple early losses that you know is going to be around at the end of the year. We expect them to be in Division II again and certainly can and should make some noise. There are teams on the other end of the spectrum, though, that are in a very difficult place. Fond du Lac is 0-4. They have Kaukauna this week. That's a really tough place for them to be, a team that had pretty high expectations coming into the season. Burlington is 0-4. They made it to level 3 of the playoffs last year, but they are off to a very slow start despite some very talented skill position players coming back. It's early enough that teams can rebound. They can get back into playoff contention, but they really got to get it turned around and get it turned around quickly.
Now, there's always some eye-popping numbers for individual players, and one person that was looked upon a lot is Colton Brunell, who we actually showed at the Columbus game, and they played really well. But it does feel like even though he has a shot at setting the state record, they are spreading the wealth really well at that school and in that team because they do have those aspirations to get back to the championship. Is there a feeling like there is a focus on getting that record, or is it something where let's think championship and worry about everything else later?
Well, coming off a Division IV championship last year, Columbus is very much thinking championship again this year. A key storyline that we followed early and that we will continue to follow. Very good chance they end up in Division 5. We have them ranked in Division 5. I think they're solidly in Division 5. But Colton Brunell is on pace, if they make a deep playoff run, to break the state rushing record. Depending on how it goes exactly, we project that could be maybe the 11th or 12th game of the season. Right now, he's not getting enough carries is the problem. They're blowing everybody out, so he's not, they're like you said, spreading the wealth. Peyton Powers has done a great job stepping in as a sophomore starting quarterback for the Cardinals. So as the season goes on, as they get into these tough conference games coming up, as they get into the postseason, he's going to get more opportunities. You'll see his yards and his carries build up. Like I said, on pace, if they make a good playoff run, to break the state rushing record, which is a huge accomplishment for him, a kid that I think has been extremely under-recruited. He is going to North Dakota on a scholarship, but I think he's a Big Ten kid. I think the Big Ten schools are missing out, and I think he can have a great career at North Dakota.
Now, another kid who's putting up big numbers, it's no surprise, is Kenosha St. Joe's Jaden Gordon, averaging 15 yards a carry. So it's almost a shock when he doesn't break a big run or score a touchdown. Talk a little bit about when there are all eyes on somebody like him.
He's just a dynamic athlete. He had an outstanding season last year. He was one of our players ranked in the running back rankings this year on our Crazy Legs watch list. Leads the state in rushing, only 60 carries this year, but he's averaging 230 yards a game, 15 yards a carry. Extremely impressive. St. Joe's has been dominant this year. They had a nice win over St. Catherine's in a non-conference game. So they're one of the powerhouse programs right now, absolutely. And he's going to continue to get opportunities. And just like Colton Brunel, the deeper we go into the season, the more opportunities he's going to get.
How does a program, when they're trying to maybe publicize what a kid can do as they look to their future, whether it's in football or something along those lines, how do they get that name out there a little bit more? Or is it just a matter of maybe the team catches up with how well that kid is playing?
Individual accolades are often tied in with the success of the team. When you talk about all conference, when you talk about all state, when you talk about those kinds of things, the better your team does, the better chance you're going to have to get some of those postseason awards. If you put up big numbers for a bad team, that doesn't carry the same weight as if you're a key player and an outstanding player on a good team that is successful. So it is a little bit of a balancing act for some kids that are maybe college recruits that are playing on teams that aren't performing very well. That can be challenging, but ultimately they've just got to go out and take care of what they can do and perform as best they can. And there will be opportunities available to them, but ultimately to the victors go the spoils. So, all conference lists, all state, dominated by the best teams in the state.
How does a coach maybe make sure a kid isn't worried about his individual accolades and knowing that it is really they're building the team's future and their own future?
It's tough. It's a balancing act. It's a challenge for high school coaches, absolutely, to not have kids focusing on individual stats, on what they're doing. You don't see it as much in football, but you see it in some sports where coaches will not publicize stats because they don't want kids to be playing for stats. But it is a challenge. I mean, they're 15, 16, 17-year-old kids in a lot of cases, and to keep them focused on the bigger picture, on performing well as a team, and then your individual honors and recognition will come. Absolutely challenging, among the many challenges faced by high school football coaches.
The way you guys played, because again, they looked like they might get back into this game, but you guys kept making plays, and the way that you guys have talked about spreading the wealth, where it's not one guy, it's not two guys, how important is that as you guys try and march as the season goes on?
I mean, it means a lot because we can get everyone together, since, Colin's our main guy in the offense usually, and we can, spread the ball out and get it to everyone else. We're, unstoppable, so, yeah.
We always want to thank the sponsors of all that we do, the dairy farmers, as well as the Jolly Good player of the game and all the things you're doing with Quick Trip. When you're honoring kids and reaching into communities.
Absolutely. We love to work with the great sponsors that we have to be able to recognize the players, teams, and communities out there. It's really a great thing to be able to do, as we've talked about before, I believe. Kids love seeing their name. It used to be they love seeing their name in the papers. Mom and dad love seeing the name in the papers, and now it's digital as well. Whether it's on social media, a recognition or mention that you make of a kid, maybe it's an article, maybe it's a Player of the Week nomination on WisSports.net, or it could be the Jolly Good Soda Player of the Game. Root beer is my favorite, by the way. A great opportunity to recognize those kids, and we appreciate all the sponsors that we work with, including Jolly Good, to be able to make that happen.
It is one of those weeks when making sure you have favorited the website on your computer. Thanks, Travis, so much. Have a great week, and it's going to be amazing to try and keep up with it all. Thanks so much.
You bet. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Travis.
I love living in Kewanee, Wisconsin because the skies are blue, smell of the fresh green grass. It's just a beautiful place to live. I love it. You love your animals, you love what you're doing, you love everything about farming, and you want to carry on those traditions. That's why we dairy farm.
Welcome back to Hartford Union High School. Dan Brunner Memorial Stadium. I kid, Dan.
Yeah, I hope it's not Memorial.
It is named after, though, you told me.
Gib Marr.
Gib Marr, who was like a track guy, right?
Track guy back.
So Gib Marr Stadium officially here in Hartford, Wisconsin. The home team trailing 20-0 at the break to the Homestead Highlanders from Mequon. And we'll take a look at the first half highlights in case you missed them. And it's going to be a lot of the guys in the red. They have really done some impressive damage in the first half and did it in many ways, starting with this turnover, Dan, on the opening drive by Hartford.
Yeah, unfortunate miscue there. Threw the ball right to him.
And then taking it down the offense, and this kid has looked really good. Bentley Hickman with the 7-yard touchdown run, 7-0, and they cash in on the turnover. And then Mr. West goes to work. Field goal there in the second quarter to make it 10-0. You're going to see more West highlights, and then here's more highlights from Hickman.
Yeah, another Hickman run, taking it down the field.
Big burst in the second quarter to set this up. Downfield to West. Hey, he's not just a kicker or a punter, Dan. 71-yard hookup.
Yeah.
And he tacked on the extra point as well, by the way. This was the field goal right before the half. They got a big chunk play, and with no time remaining, West kicks his second field goal of the evening.
40-yarder.
So he has scored all but 6 of the 20 points.
Last week he scored all of them.
Yeah, either with his foot or you saw the 71-yard hookup through the air. So that's where we stand at the break. Homestead. And a battle of two conference unbeatens in the North Shore, leading at 20-0. Final warm-ups are winding down here. Chance for us to tell you about Week 6, which will put us up and over the midway point of the regular season. Week 6 will be in the OC, I like to call it, Dan, Oak Creek, Wisconsin. And it'll be a Thursday Night Throwdown in the Southeast Conference, and a good one.
Yeah.
Franklin Sabres, Oak Creek Knights. They are literally neighbors down there in the Southeast Conference, and a lot of those kids know each other. They grew up together playing youth football together, and it's always a terrific environment, a terrific matchup. That's our Week 6 matchup. 7 p.m. kickoff right here on WSN. Stream it wherever you may be. Phone, tablet, computer, the big screen TV in the den, whatever works. Happy to have you along with us tonight here in Hartford for an important contest in the North Shore. Important, Dan, again, because one of these teams is going to go 3-0 tonight, but doesn't mean that the season is over for taking the conference. But it does mean you get a leg up, and both teams, though they didn't shy away. The coaches both know that it's an important game on how things eventually will play out.
Yeah, and again, as we've seen in prior years, you know, these teams, because of the close proximity, they may find themselves playing each other in the playoffs at some level. So, I mean, this is a big matchup. And obviously, Homestead had a great first half. Hartford needs to respond the second half.
How do they respond? That was my next question for you.
Yeah, they've been a very good second half team, and I think they just got to come out and be more physical. Unfortunately, they don't get the ball right away, so they need to do a 3-and-out here. They cannot afford to fall behind by another score.
Yeah, agreed on all those points. Highlanders will get the football to start the second half of this one. Mentioned that next week, Homestead gets West Bend East in Mequon. Hartford next week. They just beat West Bend East last week 37-29. They had to fight and claw to get that W.
Yep.
They'll be at Cedarburg, so heading down the road to face the Bulldogs in week 6. But first things first, try to rally back here in the second half and notch a week 5 W.
Right.
Getting a little cool here on this Thursday evening, but not cold, cool.
Yeah.
Dan and I still have shorts on.
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect football weather.
They gave the guys, I think, a little extra time for warm-ups coming out of the halftime locker room. Drake Zortman. See, it is getting cold. Drake
Yeah.
put the jacket on and the hoodie.
Put a jacket over the hooded sweatshirt. Yes.
That's the Wisconsin look. That's how we roll around here. All right, Tomey's ready to boot the football. Second half is underway. Good kick here, but fielded at the 4-yard line. This is Bruno. Dancing around, bouncing around, and then down he goes at the 20. John Pearson checking in for his first report of the second half.
Now, of course, we always want to talk about comebacks in a game, but the comebacks on the Hartford side is pretty inspirational. Kenny Kaiser back on the field playing after a car accident last year, but one of the more inspirational guys is you're not going to see him out on the football field. You see him on the sidelines. Tell me about maybe the most inspirational story we have on this sideline for Hartford.
Yeah, it was our playoff game last year where Michael got hurt, secondary impact syndrome. Luckily, our coaches recognized that something was wrong, took him out of the play, and luckily we had the medical staff here, paramedics from Hartford, and we were able to take care of him. He did have a long road. He's at practice. He's here tonight. He travels with the team, and he gives inspirational speeches every once in a while. Just an unbelievable story. Just the way our community came around him. Other communities, professional athletes. It was quite the support.
Yeah, it's Michael Turner. It was again, it was a scary moment on a football field as you're going to see, but you see him out here before the game. I think every kid got a fist bump. I got a fist bump. He doesn't even know who I am, but to be able to develop that relationship as you help get him to the places he needs to go as well, and maybe it's done a little something for you and everybody that's around him.
Yeah, I think it's done something for the entire Hartford football family. My family personally spent a lot of time with him, visiting him at the hospital or at his house. I have 2 young boys that looked up to him as a young youth football player. He's been awesome with them. He continues to be just a great role model for everybody.
And I guess a little action behind us, but what's the prognosis for him? I know it's a step-by-step process.
Yeah, luckily he's young, he recovers, and he's back in school full-time. He's doing really well. He worked really hard this summer, was in school all summer with us too. So I got to see him almost every day during the summer, which was a nice treat.
All right, out of near tragedy, actual tragedy, comes a lot of inspiration here in Hartford. Thanks, Scott, for being with us and helping tell the story.
Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great story, positive news on the back end. Meanwhile, you saw Bruno open over the middle for another big chunk for Homestead. Down to the 31-yard line. They go back to Bentley. Hickman on the ground. We talked about Bruno. Didn't lose his job in the backfield, Dan.
No.
They just reassess and say, okay, what can you do? We've got this kid. He's a sophomore. He's special. What can we still have you do in the backfield? And you're seeing what he can do tonight.
Yeah, and they're feeling that out as they go along. And as Coach Zortman said, we need to get him more touches. Well, they're finding ways to do it. It doesn't have to be a handoff. They're using him as a target out of the backfield.
And Dom's also been providing some blocks in that backfield for Hickman. They split him in the slot here, number 27. On 2nd down and 10, give it a Hickman. Big burst straight up the gut to the 22. Close to a first down. 3rd and short coming up for the Highlanders.
Yeah, Dylan Breyer has had his hands full with Hickman tonight. He's been in on a number of tackles, but you'll see here, you know, he's consistently getting to the second level. And that's tough. He's got a head of steam. He's tough to bring down.
Boy, and can't emphasize it any more than just repeating this line coming together for Homestead on 3rd and 2. Little draw. Bruno, the second man through, tried to weasel his way for a few extra inches. Going to come up just shy, however, of the first down. So 4th down. And a lot of teams would just say, we're going to go for it. But you've got Sean West hanging out. But Drake Zortman's going to go for it this time.
Yeah, they tried a little misdirection with faking the Bentley Hickman and then coming back with Bruno. But Hartford did a good job of holding their spots and reading their keys and making this a 4th down. Oh, fumble.
And they won't get the first down. Markers come in, though, however.
I think it's an illegal procedure.
Tommy O'Hagan was barking the call and wasn't ready for the snap. And I wonder if the center, Connor McGinley, prematurely snapped it because it looked like O'Hagan wasn't ready to take it.
Right.
Here's Jason Dahl.
Prior to the snap, red ball start. Offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty.
So prior to the snap, so you can't decline it.
No, you
if
can't.
You're Hartford.
You know, so there's the problem. Instead of Hartford getting the ball now, they're going to be attempting a 38-yard field goal.
Right.
Or, I'm sorry, a 45-yard
45-yard field goal. But, yeah, they were short of picking up the first down, but because it was prior to the snap, march it off 5, West from 45. No good.
No good.
He had plenty of leg.
I thought they were getting ready to throw their arms up that it was good.
I did too. So Sean West is 2 for 4 tonight. Man, but A for effort for number 11. I mean, he gets his money's worth with that leg.
Yeah, he does.
But a break for Hartford, and they needed a break down.
They needed that, yes.
They get the football back, and the scoreboard doesn't change. It stays 20-0 here in the 3rd period. Bennett Klodges, the junior QB, trying to ignite his team on offense here. And there's a start. Oh. Nice hook up there with Tomei. Down to the 44.
Yeah, nice protection, good slant, nice catch and run. Good yards after the catch.
John Rutter's down there, 8th year as the head coach, saying more of that. Somebody jumped early, no flag.
No flag. Hey.
And no worries. Jacob Bauer off to the races into Homestead territory. 2 big chunk plays just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, again, you can see the speed. Bauer's a track kid on the state relay team. Turns the corner. Great game.
From the 30, 1st and 10, Orioles marching. The second man through on the counter, that's Genders. Good push by Reed down to the 25. Second down for Hartford. Picking up the pace here as well, Dan.
Yep.
Clyde just looking over. Hand signals come in and he says, kill it. I want something else. Wants to throw. Does throw.
Face mask.
You saw it too, right?
Yep.
Catch was made by Jacob Bauer. And then on the tackle, everyone in the house here at Gibmar Field saw the grabbing of the cage.
Yeah, I think Griffin Bowers got a hold of that. We'll see right here. Nice job. Get the ball out quick. Get it to your playmaker. And then Bowers got a hold of the cage right there.
Bowers is a senior, 3-year starter in that secondary.
Yeah. Captain.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
Well, whatever it takes, Hartford needed big plays, and they're getting them in bunches on this drive.
Yeah, this is a big drive for them. We got to put points on the board.
First and goal from the 10. Genders, straight ahead. And good push by the line, good push by Bodwine. You knew Kaysen would be in there. Mixing it up, trying to free Genders. Gain of 6, second and goal from the 3. Quick give. Look at the hammer.
Oh!
Ball came out. Hodges was there, and
man,
good thing for the guys in black and orange because that ball was laying on the carpeting, Dan. The danger zone right there if you lose it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see on the replay, I mean, he's driving for extra yards. I don't know who pulled it out of there. But
oh, Curtin,
correct.
And Bennett was there to help the cause. Third and goal, Orioles. Look at this.
Oh, he slipped.
Oh, it looked like it had some good traction, but then the slippage, and Cody Buttermore, 22, was there for the cover-up. Now, fourth down for Hartford.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 points really don't do you any good here. You can see, looked like he had it, but they are actually in pretty good position. Griffin Bowers was right there.
Yeah, they stayed home. Fourth down. Got to have points. Orioles looking to throw. And in and out of the hands, incomplete. Jacob Bauer was right at the goal line and couldn't find the handle. And Homestead will take over on downs. Bauer's shaky and limping to get back up.
Yeah, you can see here he had Bowers, and I think he had McManigal out there. But he picked Bowers, and not bad coverage, but still catchable.
Yeah, hit him right on top of the shoulder pads. Our camera right there for a great view. If he makes the catch, he's in bounds, he's in the end zone, and the Orioles are counting 6 on the board. But the Highlanders bend but don't break and get the football back.
Yeah, Hartford needs a quick turnover, or either 3 and out or get a turnover.
Back under center, Tommy O'Hagan. Straight ahead give. Hickman. Tough dude to bring down.
Man.
He's shown it so many times.
Yeah, he gave Josiah Luby a ride.
Picked up the first down. All on his own, too.
You can see, I mean, he comes through there. Luby's got him dead to rights here. And he's just like, hop on.
All aboard.
Yeah.
Out to the 17-yard line. Some breathing room for the Highlanders. First and 10. Little counteraction there on the draw. Bruno gets a carry that time. Heads to the sidelines, out of bounds.
Yeah, Dominic Bruno's a very good running back. Obviously, all-conference player last year, but There's just a marked difference in the physicality running up the gut.
But as we've seen, they didn't just flush Dom away. They said, no. We'll find other ways to make you a threat, and he has done that.
Yeah, they complement each other.
Gain of just 1 on that carry, so 2nd down and 9. Over the middle. Oh, too much. Intended for Dom Bruno.
Yeah, he had a step.
It'll be 3rd down and 9. Tommy O'Hagan threw his 4th touchdown pass of the season when he connected with Sean West for that 71-yard hookup. Trying to keep this drive alive on 3rd down and 9. Airing it out. Wensler, incomplete. Jonah tried to turn around and snag it on the backside. No can do. And now we'll get to see Sean West punt for the first time tonight,
First
Dan.
time, absolutely.
Another area of the game where he can be a game changer. And again, we saw him punting in practice, and everything was a tight spiral and 40, 50-plus yards.
Yeah, turned it over well.
Fry is deep. And he's got to cover it up. And he does at the 35-yard line. Good kick by West. Hartford gets the football back with 4:04 to go here in the 3rd, trailing 20-0.
Yeah, in that last series, you know, to Hartford's advantage, they forced Homestead into those long yardage plays where they had to throw the ball and the clock wasn't running with incompletions. So they're getting the ball back with decent time left.
Clodges under center on 1st and 10. Give. Genders. Off the left side for 5. Well, if the last drive, their first drive of the second half, was imperative for points.
Yeah.
They didn't get any. This one, even more urgency, Dan, as we get close to getting into the 4th period. 2nd and 5.
No, they need to score the 3rd quarter.
And again, we saw this on the last drive, a little more giddy up with the offense. Trying to get in as many plays and opportunities as possible. That was Genders on another carry. Got him close. It's 3rd down and 1. But you see him in and out of the huddle quicker.
Yep.
Clodges has him up to the line and whistles. Timeout Homestead. I think that's what Drake Zortman saw, is like, okay, we need to be quicker on defense to get ourselves set because they're getting quicker on offense. So Matt Wolf, the DC, will talk it over. First charge timeout of the second half for the Highlanders. Reminder, next week, next Thursday, the Throwdown is in Oak Creek. Franklin and Oak Creek, going to be a doozy.
Oh, yeah, that should be a good one.
Like this game that goes a long way in determining the North Shore Conference Championship, that game could help. That game right there, thank you, crew, that will certainly fit into the equation and decide how things sort out in the Southeast Conference.
Yeah, so many people felt that Oak Creek was just going to fall apart because their star quarterback had a little bit of an injury situation with his shoulder, and he's going on to play college baseball, and North Carolina said, nope, no football. Well, guess what? They next man up, they're playing pretty good football.
Yeah, they figured it out. All right, big play here for the Orioles on 3rd and 1.
Oh, we got
somebody moved.
Bad penalty.
Yep. One of the big guys up front, Ethan Bertelson, jumped the gun. So now 3rd and 6 instead of 3rd and 1. Different optics here for Hartford. Bullwine in the backfield. He surveys, so does his quarterback. Plodges. Down he goes. This time hog-tied and thrown down by Jack Reed.
Yep. Reed and Teron McCall.
Jack Reed was a running back in the Homestead attack, Dan.
Yeah,
they moved him to defense. Good call, huh?
Yeah.
They've been thin at linebacker because of injuries, so number 8 said, I can go play over there, and he makes a play.
And he can.
And now you force Hartford, you have to punt here. Ford up in the sky, West with a fair catch made at the 35-yard line. So the Highlanders hang on to their 20-0 cushion here, late stages of the 3rd quarter. And Tommy O'Hagan, he's had a good night.
Yeah, they're at a point now. I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Bentley Hickman.
Maybe even some Dom Bruno sprinkled in as well. It's Hickman, though. Big hole. Hickman.
Goodbye.
Goodbye is right. With that speed, that is a touchdown. His 2nd of the night.
Man.
65-yard touchdown run for the Bentley.
Yeah, that's the left side of that line. You can see right here, those guys, Deed Capper, Joe Simon, Connor McGinley, they open a hole. He gets to the 2nd level. If you're not in front of him, you're not catching him.
Again, Dan praising that line, and rightfully so. Boy, have they pulled it together here to give that backfield, whether it's O'Hagan in the pocket, giving him time and providing holes for Bentley as West connects on the PAT to make it 27-0. That's the unsung hero, but that's why we're singing the praises. This line has been spectacular tonight.
They have. I'm sure Drake Zortman would say this is the best that they've played all year, and you can see it. I mean, they're getting a hat on a hat, and they're not quitting till the whistle.
And it's a good defense by Hartford, too. 4-3 base. They're not as big, Dan, up front as past teams, but they're fast and they're physical. They fly to the ball, but they're just getting out blocked tonight.
They are, and that's not, again, that offensive line for Homestead, they're not as big as they're accustomed to, but they're just, you can just see the athleticism and the technique is outstanding.
And that touchdown run by Bentley Hickman, there's some hanging heads right there.
Yeah.
And really knocked the wind out of the sails of the fans here at Hartford as well.
Yeah, and that old line, they've got Dave Hoagland, who by far one of the best line coaches in the state historically for a long time. He just has done a great job with them. You can just see the excellent technique and leverage. I mean, all the things that you want to see in an old lineman.
Look at those 5 guys up front. The night off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
West to boot the football once again. Genders and Fry deep once again. Going to be a touchback once again.
It's a recording.
Kid's got a future at the next level. Hartford in a 27-0 hole.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
And they've had opportunities. We've seen them move the football. But then the stall penalty was a killer there on third down. They went from 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 6, and then the sack. And
something wasn't lined up right.
Yeah, Hartford going to call a timeout. They send it down to the field, and John Pearson again.
Well, thank you very much. And I always turn to we'll call him the legend. We'll call him the Hall of Fame coach in situations like this where, yeah, those sophomores are kind of the celebrated part, a lot of the talk of the Homestead season coming in. Sometimes you can lose your seniors when everybody's talking about the underclassmen there. I'm curious, like Dan, if you ever went through that, how did you handle it when some seniors that spent their whole lives getting ready for their moment, they looked at all these talented sophomores? How do you handle the situation where you don't lose them?
You have to be preemptive in those situations. You really do. You have to sit down before the season because these coaches all knew, for example, what Hickman was going to bring to the table, and you need to sit down with that senior and make sure they're all in, because like you said, John, that can be a cancer on the team. But obviously, that's not what's happening in Homestead.
Well, we're seeing harmony in the backfield. On the move. Look out. Almost intercepted by Jackson Montgomery.
Yeah, Jackson's back. He's another one who's come back from injury.
Yeah.
Effective balls there. Made a nice break on the ball.
Yeah, Drake Zortman, in talking with him earlier in the week, there were a lot of positions, again, linebacker, secondary, where he's like, man, I hope we get this guy back. I'm not sure about this guy.
Yeah.
But the pieces are starting to get healthy again, and that's great news for the folks in Mequon. 2nd and 10. Go on the ground. No running room available. Genders ran into a wall.
Monte Love.
You told me the story at halftime. You want to tell it now?
Yeah.
Over the air?
Yeah.
Condensed version?
Yeah, condensed version.
Yeah.
Back in the 1990s, I was on the South All-Star, or actually it was the Shrine Bowl staff, and Monte Love Sr., so Monty's dad was one of the linemen, and he was a very strong weightlifter. So one day the guys all wanted to lift weights. We went over to Williams Center, and I challenged the dad to a bench press contest. And I was still lifting with the players at the time. So
you were?
Oh, yeah. I thought I can do this. And so I rattled. We put 225 on the rack, and we warmed up. And he says, you go ahead first, coach. So I did like 12, and I thought I could probably do another one or two, but I don't want to embarrass him.
You don't want to show him up,
I don't
right?
want to show him up. All right, so I get off the bench. Monty gets on there and proceeds to do 24 reps. And I got to do the walk of shame out of the weight room with all these all-star players laughing at me. But then I find out Dave Keel told me, well, that's nothing. He actually did 29 one time. So I didn't feel so bad.
So that was this month. So this is the second version of Monty Love.
Yep, Monty.
So you're talking about his father,
Monty's dad.
I wonder what this Monte does in the wager. He's probably better than the old
know.
man, right?
I think the dad could probably still pump out 24.
Let's do it.
Oh man.
Let's drive down to Mequon and hit the weight room.
That was a humbling experience.
So the Highlanders get the football back on the punt. In command of this one tonight, late stages of the third quarter. Yeah, you get to that point in life, Dan, when you look on the program and go, oh, that's got to be the old man.
Yeah, I called Dave Keel. He said, yep, that is.
That's him. Toss. Hickman.
Man.
Looking for his third touchdown. Flags fly during the run. Might have been a downfield block or a hold, something. It's hanky down at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, it's not coming all the way back, but
see what Jason Dahl has to say again.
Holding, offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, still first down.
Yeah, Jonah Wensler downfield trying to spring Hickman for more.
yeah, we'll see if we can pick it up on the replay, but boy, he just has a burst. There's a pancake behind him.
Drama club in
Yeah.
Hartford. Yeah. So how old of a man were you, Dan Brunner, at the time of this?
Oh,
do you remember?
See.
So you're coaching in the Shrine game, right?
Yeah,
So.
it was 94. I was probably pushing 40.
But you're still doing. See, that's the impressive part of the story. You're in there mixing it up with the kids.
Yeah, well, back in the day, there wasn't as much free weight lifting.
Right.
You know,
in the
so,
90s. No.
Yeah, so I probably started getting into it more at that time because my players were.
Justin, we're spinning again, correct?
And so that's another story within the story.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fact that you do, 12 or so, and it's like, better lay off the gas pedal. I don't want to show the kid up.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you don't want to show the kid up.
He's talking to me as he's pumping him out.
Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, is that enough, Coach?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. Throw. Downfield, in and out of the hands of Malone. And a lot of moving pieces there in the backfield before the attempted throw by O'Hagan. Brings up second down. 2nd and 8 with 8 seconds to go here in the third. So you never did that again, I take it.
No.
Okay.
No. Never challenged anybody again.
No. I wonder if Monte's dad is here across the way.
Oh.
I'd like to go find out his version of the story. Because he may say it was about 50 reps.
Yeah.
Who knows? Here's Hickman again. Look at the speed.
Oh, man.
Hickman inside the 20. They finally bring him down. That is how the third quarter ends. And Homestead and that young man off to the races. Looking to notch another victory in the North Shore Conference, up 27-0.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Farming is more than just a job because it demands so much of you. Every day I'm with the people that I care about the most. We accomplish or we fail together.
Support Wisconsin dairy farmers. Buy Wisconsin cheese and dairy.
Back here to begin quarter number 4. This is how quarter number 3 ended on this toss to Bentley Hickman, and then he just flies by everybody else, Dan, downfield.
Yeah, when he turns on the jets, he's tough to catch.
And now the beginning of the 4th period. Homestead up 27-0. Quarterback keeper here by Tommy O'Hagan. And brought down on the tackle by Miners. Out there in social media land, Dan, we've got a Brian Brunner who said, Brooks and I are enjoying Grandpa's color work. Brooks is your
My grandson,
yeah.
Second grader.
Brian also said, needed the old cross-buck bootleg on 3rd and goal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cross-buck bootleg pass.
Start sending some plays down to Redders. 2nd down for Homestead. Hickman, this will be his 3rd touchdown of the evening.
Touchdown, Homestead.
From the 14.
14-yard touchdown run by Bentley Hickman.
Yeah, again, Bob, it's those guys up front that are making the holes for him.
He has been impressive. The line has been impressive. Homestead's been impressive.
You can just, look at, Luka Ivancevic again, summer 71. He and Lucas Gernert on that right side had a gaping hole for him to run through, untouched.
Touchdown run number 3 for number 26, West for the PAT. And that's good. 34-0. Homestead in front. For those of you that don't know, when Dan was coaching, he coached his son, Brian, was the quarterback of the Hartford Orioles. So you had that special father-son coach QB relationship. How did you navigate the two?
Bob, it was really so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And he's been around football his entire life. It was just he knew how I coached. It was not very difficult to separate the dad-coach thing. And when he was a player, I coached him the same way I coached everybody, and so I didn't have an issue with any of that. It honestly, the most enjoyable part of my entire career were the 4 years with him here.
Yeah, you tell me all the time that you miss those years when you had that special bond. You had not just the time at home watching him on the field, but also coaching him up as well.
Yeah, and he had such great friends and teammates that I got to see on and off the field. That was a big part of that enjoyment.
West to kick off once again. You can spill the dirt, though. There had to be sometimes in the car ride home when ever get heated?
No. We pretty much he was a very successful quarterback, too, so it wasn't – and he knew the game so well, so it wasn't like there were a lot of issues, over his playing or decision-making or any of that.
In and out of the end zone for the touchback. How did Mom handle it, Kathy? How did she handle those 4 years?
I'll tell you what. We were playing Homestead his freshman year, and his job on the varsity, he was a holder his freshman year, and he was, a backup quarterback, maybe even the 3rd string, sometimes 2nd string. We're playing Homestead. It's an early game in the season, and the starting quarterback's not doing very well. My wife sent
Brian's mom.
Yeah, Brian's mom sent Brian's grandpa down to the field.
Oh, no.
With instructions, don't you put him in.
Pass was tipped and then caught over there by Tomei.
Yeah, so that was interesting. So
Mom was speaking
yeah, don't you put him in.
He's not ready.
Yeah, he's not ready. It's a 4th quarter.
Yeah.
They're teeing off. and you're going to put him in?
Oh. 2nd down and 7. Little draw play there. Bullwine. Still playing hard, still churning out there for Hartford. And we've got an injured Hartford. Oh, it's Bullwine. Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Kaysen. Can't lose him.
No, he plays hard. Kaysen Bodwine.
And a two-way player, important on both sides of the football, Dan.
Yes. You can see the concern on Coach Redder's face right there.
And the fans here have been pretty quiet in the second half as Homestead has run away with this one. And it's even more quiet and concerned with number 19 down on the field.
Good sign.
Up.
Yep.
And alert. And walking off on his own. The Hammer might call it a night, Dan, after that.
Yeah, or his coach might.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to come out. But there are a lot of other games to be played yet.
On the play, it brings up 3rd down and 3. Bullwine gets checked on the bench.
Miscommunication there.
Yep. And they pay the price. Gang tackled in the backfield is Reed Genders, 4th down. And the white flag goes up. They're just going to punt the football here. Connor Ford comes in. Want to get out of here healthy now after seeing Bodwine hit the deck like that. Wensler deep along with West. Getting the right personnel out there. I think Bodwine was part of this package, and so they had to scurry to get the right bodies out. Good kick.
Nice punt.
West going to field it at 37. And Sean West. Big time return.
Yeah, he outkicked the coverage on that. That sometimes happens.
So the punter and the kicker and the receiver and the returner.
Man.
Remember Jim Jensen with the Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And Jim Jensen wore number 11. So I'm watching this going, he's Jim Jensen.
Yeah.
He does just about everything.
Yeah.
They line him up all over the field and returns kicks. And
yeah, when Drake said that before the game, I was like, oh, yeah, all coaches always say that. But no, he does it all.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line. Hand off to Bruno. Spinning and dancing and getting tackled. Yeah, some of the guys in our crew were asking me when I arrived here, we're going to feature a kicker in the open, and I said, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait. And Drake Zortman told us in pregame, too, wait till you see this kid.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I thought it was just coach speak, you know, where everybody talks about their players, and no, he's the real deal.
Yeah. He is a game changer. We've seen the effect that he has had on this game. And again, last week, ask Nicolay. He scored all 16 points.
Man.
Bruno again.
Dominic Bruno, the ball carrier. Tackled by Weston Yeager.
Up to about 22-yard line. There's West getting a breather. Keep the leg from any harm. It's a valuable appendage there. Third and 8. Clock winding down here in the fourth quarter. Tommy O'Hagan late to get the play from Zortman. Getting him in and out of the huddle. Cody Buttermore is in the backfield, 22. See him sliding around there, and they've given Bentley Hickman the rest of the day off. Bruno stacked up in the backfield, fourth down. So West is going to come out. Is he going to kick or punt? He's warming up to kick, so going to try another field goal.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not trying to rub it in or anything, but every opportunity that you get, to put your special teams on display and practice it in a game situation, you have to.
Yeah, this will be a 40-yard try for Sean West. Part of the resume reel for the college coaches. And they'll like that.
Oh,
my
boy.
Goodness. Good from 40. West again makes it a 37-0 lead. And with it, running clock the rest of the way down.
Yeah, absolutely. He got all of that. Great height. Good snap, good hold. It takes three things to have a successful field goal. 4 if you include the blocking.
John Pearson checking in on the field once again.
Well, of course, the field is still here. But, again, this is not going the way that Hartford wanted things to go. But we do want to make sure we mention October 6th, the Coaches versus Cancer game. Slinger taking on Hartford in that game. It's one of the great traditions. It goes back to 2011 when Coach Kevin Wilkinson of Slinger was battling cancer. He initiated it, and then John Redder's father had his own cancer battle, so they named the trophy the Wilkinson Redders Trophy. They play for it every year. They raffle off items. They have auction items. They have T-shirts, all those kinds of things that you can buy. You can probably contact the high schools to find out just how to participate. They raised about $15,000 at last report on this game. So one of those things, two programs, towns that maybe aren't the most fond of each other, but they pulled together on this with the Coaches versus Cancer game. Again, that's 2006, and give them some surprises by reaching out, even if you're not from one of these two towns.
Yeah, thank you, John, for dispensing the information. Wait, Slinger and Hartford are what? What? Come on, Dan, give it up. Kick by West is another touchback.
Touchback, yeah.
No, anytime you have neighboring communities,
yeah,
it's a built-in rivalry. But to John's point on the story, they found common ground there.
Yeah, and John Redders and Bill Jacklin they have such a great relationship, and I've been to that Hartford Slinger Coaches versus Cancer game, and the crowds all respect each other, and they do a great job. It's a friendly competition to see who can raise the most, and it goes to a great cause.
Connor Ford was alternating at the quarterback spot with Klages, is in there to take the final snaps here in the fourth quarter. Again, just with the clock running here, just want to get out of here and keep these bodies healthy. Get ready to fight in week 6 at Cedarburg is Hartford next week.
And those guys up front for Hartford, Bertelsen, Majerus, Rolsma, both the Rolsma brothers, their dad was an all-state player for me, and Weston Yeager. I mean, they've been battling all night. It just hasn't gone their way, but got something to hang their hat on here.
Yeah, maybe trying to get the goose egg off the scoreboard. A burst there by Luke Lopez.
Yeah, great job up front. Guys I was just talking about opened the hole up for him.
Into Homestead territory at the 49. So Lopez in the backfield. Connor Ford taking the snaps. Give it to Lopez. Marker comes in.
There's a penalty marker on the play.
Face mask, maybe.
Jason Dahl.
Defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. That results in a first down.
Stay tuned after the game for our Jolly Good Soda Player of the Game. It's brought to you by Jolly Good Soda. Crack open the good times and savor the flavor of Jolly Good Soda. They put the pop in Wisconsin. John Pearson will be tracking down one of the Highlanders. I got a few ideas on which player might be joining him.
Yeah.
Couple candidates, right?
Definitely.
Handful of candidates.
Oh, yeah.
If Dan Brunner had his way, he'd just have John grab all 5 offensive linemen and talk to them.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
He'd be here all night, but so what? Ford, busted play action, so he just tucks the football and goes and makes his way to the 19-yard line.
Check away, Saber better.
So Hartford will drop to 3-2 overall, 2-1, except for their first loss in the North Shore. Homestead's going to go to 4-1. They'll be still perfect in the North Shore at 3-0. Ford under center on third down. Little counter action there, and squirming for a first down is Adam Zern.
Check away, Jason Ziegler.
Picked up the first down.
That's a first down for the Orioles.
15-yard line. Pride on the line here. You want
this definitely
get the 0 off the board, and Homestead too. They want to try to pitch the shutout too, and their defense is, I've used the term a couple times tonight, bend but don't break. They've gotten tough, Dan, when they've needed to.
Yeah, they have. It's unfortunate. Hartford, got off to a pretty decent start moving the ball, but then had a few of those setbacks. They had the turnover, then a couple of penalties. Ooh.
Nothing doing there.
Yeah, Brandon Day.
Yeah, there were some self-inflicted wounds and a couple turnovers, and they were killers when you saw the momentum and they were building something, moving down the football field, and just couldn't find the end zone.
Yeah, and at the start of the second half, they had a chance to cut the score down, and almost got in. But yeah, he got down to the goal line, and they had the miscue with the fumble, lost 3 yards, and ended up not scoring.
And Homestead took advantage of all the opportunities available to them. That was John Leatherberry, a senior, who got the carry and almost got it into the end zone. And timeout being called on the field here. It'll be 1st and goal. Oh, we had an
injury
timeout.
Yeah.
That's what it was. See, one of the Homestead players got tangled up on that Leatherberry run.
I think that was Brandon Day, number 88.
Yep, walking off slowly to the sideline. So 1st and goal, Hartford at the 3-yard line. Connor Ford,
fumble.
Pile up.
Fumble on the play.
recovered by Leatherberry.
Recovered by the Orioles. Second down and goal.
It'll be second down and goal. You saw the center, Jack House, tap the jersey to dry the hands. Push. And still pushing.
In.
Touchdown Orioles.
Touchdown Leatherberry. The old rugby scrum, Dan.
Yeah, yeah.
Just keep moving the pile. Ford just hands it off. And Leatherberry, he's in there somewhere, Dan.
I see that.
And now the extra point by Tomei.
Oop.
Oop. Tried it anyway. Made it anyway. All right.
That was pretty spectacular. It was a botched hold and recovered, and the kicker hung in there long enough to punch it through.
So no shutout for Homestead. But they let Hartford go down the field and chew up a ton of time here. They just want to field the kickoff here and then finish this one off. But an impressive W. John Pearson, you have more to say?
I do. It's a peek into the mind of a sideline reporter in kind of a lopsided game all night long. It's been in my head that defensive back Jackson Montgomery shares the name of a character on All My Children from back in the day.
Oh, my gosh.
One of Erica Kane's husbands was named Jackson Montgomery. I haven't been able to find the parents to find out if it has anything to do with anything, but I was more of an As the World Turns guy, but for some reason that's in my head.
Oh.
You know what's worse? I saw the name and it was in my head too, John. So you're not alone.
Oh.
At the 5-yard line. That's Bruno. Now I'm checking the program for Robert Scorpio.
Yeah.
See if that.
Oh. Oh.
So the clock's rolling here, and Homestead might not even need to snap the football.
They won't unless, well, they'll have to take
Just
a knee, but
one.
Just one time, unless Hartford were to stop the clock, which I don't think they will.
No. Snap, knee. And that'll do it. The handshake line begins. And they'll form it at midfield as this one goes final on our Thursday night throwdown. A North Shore war, we like to call it, but it was Homestead. Very impressive. Both sides of the football and special teams as well. All three aspects, Dan. They took it to these Orioles.
Yeah, I hate to disappoint my grandson Brooks and Brian, my son, but this was all Homestead tonight.
Final score, Highlanders 37, Orioles 7. Stick around. John Pearson's going to track down our Jolly Good Soda player of the game. Discussion time when we return to Hartford.
I love living in Kewanee, Wisconsin because the skies are blue. Smell of the fresh green grass. It's just a beautiful place to live. I love it. You love your animals, you love what you're doing, you love everything about farming, and you want to carry on those traditions. That's why we dairy farm.
It's now final. We can make that an F instead of the fourth quarter. It's 37-7. The final here in Hartford. Dan Brunner, John Pearson, Bob Brainerd with you. Getting ready to, as the Highlanders chat it out, and then we will chat once Drake Zortman has his final thoughts. But, Dan, your thoughts on this game. We said at the very outset, this is an important game in the North Shore Conference. It's that way each and every year, and both teams know it. Knowing that, you got to give these Highlanders credit for really answering the call. And as I said, in all three phases of the game, they were terrific.
Yeah, they were. I mean, it's one of those nights, every week is different, but you could just see that Homestead team coming together. And, Coach Zortman talked about that, and it all comes back to that O-line. I mean, that O-line has been developing week by week, and I think you're seeing a finished product tonight coming out of this game. And they've already got everything they need in terms of the field goal, punting, kickoff situation. And that player makes all those players around him better.
Sean West.
Yeah. Sean West.
Yeah.
Makes them all better.
And the things you just mentioned, too, I think when we get to the postseason, that's a real X factor because a lot of teams, punting, somebody raised their hand, who wants to punt, right?
Yeah.
Kicking is always a chore, usually always a chore. You've got a kid like Sean West who can boot the football, bomb it when they need to punt, makes field goals from long distance, makes his extra points, and he helps on offense as well, certainly, with the big 71-yard catch.
Yeah.
But all those special team things, Dan, when you get to the postseason, that's a huge X factor, isn't it?
Yeah, and you said it earlier, Bob, that was perfect. He's a difference maker. When your kicker is a difference maker, that's a big deal. And like you said, not just a lot of teams have a good kicker, who they rely on for extra points, and so not many teams have a kicker who they can trot out and feel confident that they can get a 40, 45-yard field goal every time he tries it and kick touchbacks all the time, and then when they do need to punt, he can punt it past 40 yards.
All right, well, he was one of the stars, but also one of the stars tonight, our Jolly Good Soda player of the game with John Pearson.
Well, yeah, it was when a guy scores 3 touchdowns and you're still not sure who should be the player of the game, that's a total team effort. Bentley Hickman, just a sophomore, you're going to hear that a lot when you do things like that. The way you guys, that first turnover your defense created and then the offense just took over here, how would you describe this night for your team?
I mean, I just got to give thanks to my O-line, my blocking back, my quarterback, just my whole team just supporting me. I just got to give it all to them.
The way the offensive line did do it, because, again, a lot of younger guys on this team, hey, that's great. Maybe you're building for the future. It doesn't seem like you're settling for building for the future.
I just got to we're just working on it. We're just getting better every day, every practice. We may be young. That's why people doubt us, but, we're just still working. We got to stay working.
Okay, and a lot of people knew this sophomore class was going to be pretty good, and a lot of times seniors in that situation aren't the friendliest. The way they have held you together and they have been supportive, Bruno especially, leading rusher, some young punk comes in here and is taken over here. The way you've gotten support from those seniors, that says a lot about the team, the coaches, and the program.
Yeah, this is my brothers, to take care of me, teach me up. That's what they got to do.
And this game meant the exact same thing for both teams. What was it you guys did? When did you kind of feel like, all right, we have put something together tonight?
Definitely first drive. We knew we had to just get it done. The whole game, we just had to know we had to get it done and do what we've been working for.
All right. Again, you're our jolly good player of the game. And one thing, Bentley, it's a kind of a car. I was trying to compare you to a kind of a car that's really smooth driving. Can you think of one or not?
Bentayga.
It's been taken, yes, indeed. But, that's beautiful right there. But Bob Brainerd kept saying you were scampering. I think when you lower your shoulders and burst through, that ain't a scamper, Bob.
Okay, the Bentley reference. I get it, John.
Yeah.
I get it. He was as smooth as a Bentley going down the highway. Good reference. Good football game for that young man. And, Dan, he said it. The offensive line, he paid them respects right out of the chute, and rightfully so.
Yep.
Good team effort. Good win for Homestead tonight. They win at 37-7. That'll do it for Thursday Night Throwdown in Week 5. For John Pearson, for Dan Brunner, for our entire crew in the truck, out here in the field, behind the cameras, all the great folks who bring you the action every Thursday night, I'm Bob Brainerd saying so long from Hartford Union High School. Once again, the final score, Homestead 37 and Hartford 7. Next week, Week 6, Thursday Night Throwdown, Southeast Conference clash between Franklin and Oak Creek. Dial us up wherever you are. Kickoff is 7 p.m.